Rolling.
Right, so Richard.
Yes.
It reads, or it seems to be like a comedy gangster flick, and of the type they don't really make much anymore. They've gone a bit out of vogue. Did you read the script and think, I want to do this?
I never thought it was a gangster film. Sorry to disagree with you
fine.
right off the top. It seems to me that it's a film about friendship and two people who are out of sync with the time that they are now living in, because Dom Hemmingway's been in prison for 15 years and Dickie, who I play, is absolutely stuck in his heyday of the 70s with the mullet and the shades, the Hunter S. Thompson shades and the clothes and stuff. So how that friendship operates and what happens to them, they fail upwards,
Okay, so
on a daily basis.
It's not a gangster flick. You're correct, but they are criminals, and they are out.
They are criminals, yeah, but they're not very successful criminals.
Are they lovable rogues, or are they loathsome? What do you think?
I think that they are just very, very recognisably human. So I think that all people have a mixture of both, which is, I'm not going with one or the other.
You mentioned that your character there was with the mullet and stuck in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a release to play him? Was it a cathartic experience?
I've played so many parts where I have had to be the protagonist, ranting and raving about stuff. So to be the solid, straight guy, fall guy to the volcanic act of Dom Hemmingway, that was a change to do. So it was much easier to be back-footed rather than ranting from the ramparts as Dom Hemmingway does. It's a great comic effect.
And for Jude, it's a part we've not seen him play.
Yeah, he's incredible.
He transforms himself.
Yeah,
in respects.
physically, every which way. His commitment to it was 5,000%.
When you heard that it was Jude Law playing this character, did you think, hang on a sec, I'm not sure about this?
Well, I thought he was too handsome for a start, and then of course he put on 30 pounds. He grew these big whiskers. He had a nose piece to make his nostrils stick out to the left. He tried to make himself look as wrecked as possible, but just genetically, he is one of the planet's most handsome beasts. So he was the beauty to my beast, really.
So even a heavier set Jude Law with whiskers and a prosthetic nose, he still had attention from ladies. It still works.
He has great charisma and charm in real life and on screen. So there's no divide between those two things. So if you go out to a restaurant with him, you know that people know that he's there, and that the lady's response is very strong. And I think that in order to pull off Dom Hemmingway, who on paper you could think, well, this guy's so reprehensible and is so violent, what could you possibly want to spend 2 hours in his company? But the sheer force of Jude's commitment and his investment in this part, and the way that the complexity with which Richard Shepard has written that character, I think make him, you kind of root for him all the way through.
Yes, I was going to mention that the script is sometimes beautiful, isn't it? It's quite poetic, and he has these. And
he's an American who's never lived in London, and you go, how has he got sort of British sensibilities so in essence in this story, these characters?
You talk about it having a very British film, and the characters are very British, but it's getting great reviews, and it has done in the States.
Yeah, it's had fantastic response there.
Why is this crossing the boundary? Why are Americans getting this, do you think?
I have no idea, but somebody stood up in the audience at the Q&A at the Toronto Film Festival and said, what's going to happen to these two guys? Is there going to be a sequel? And Richard just straight out said, yeah, it's going to be called Dom and Dickie Do Vegas. So, here's hoping.
Would you do a sequel on that?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
And the other thing, just finally, there's a slight talk of Oscar buzz, just a little bit, and certain trade magazines are saying this could be an outside shot.
Well, I think that Jude's character is so extraordinary, and the thing is that it's a combination of comedy and pathos that doesn't always win through. So I hope for his sake that he does. He certainly deserves it in my book.